Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Tim, and in this episode we're going to swap out the stock existing catalytic converters for some Schmiedmann headers with cats. First, let's just simply take a look at what we have received from Schmiedmann. Obviously we have the headers, then we have the catalysts. Also there were some gaskets and some sort of exhaust hanger. And I believe these two here are, if you have a single exhaust, then you can join this setup to your single exhaust system, whereas this car here has a dual setup system. I've gone and bought these as well. It's a shortened version that Schmiedmann recommends, and then just new bolts here for the header flanges. Now I must say that even though this isn't exactly weld porn per se, it's pretty good actually. The welds on the outside here, they look pretty good, but also on the inside they're actually pretty good as well. So the collector, I will see if I can post a picture of it. Those inside here aren't the best type of collector, but you know, it's a budget header, so what can you expect really? In general, I'm pretty satisfied with the thickness of the flanges. Sometimes they skimp out on flange thickness when fabricating headers. Often it will lead to them warping due to the heat. But these are actually plenty thick. In general, it honestly looks like a system that is way more expensive than it is. Especially considering there are these, I'm gonna link to it in the description, but I believe there are 300 cell or 200 cell cats, whereas the originals I believe are 400 cell cats. Next up, we're just gonna uninstall the system. Okay, so I managed to pull off the second manifold, cylinder 3, 4, 5, and 6, and by far the hardest one to remove was this one right here. This nut right here, that was pretty hard to get to, but no biggie really. Just remove the engine mount and then you can get access to them. Remove the front one first, then the rear one, and just set. There is actually an easy way to remove the old studs here. Just put two over each other, tighten them against each other, and then you just simply unscrew the stud. Okay, so I just noticed something mildly interesting. Yeah, watch this. Do you see it? There's a shortened bolt, or so Schmiedmann says, and that's the original bolt. Honestly, they're equal length. The only thing is that there's a bit less thread engagement on the new one, but it's the same length, so you don't have to waste your money buying new bolts here. Also, it takes a hell of a lot of time to actually remove all the old ones and so on. So yeah, if you have an M54 B30 at least, don't waste your time on these bolts here. They're simply not worth it. headers are in now. You need to mount the rear one first, then the front one, then you can mount the engine mount here. And there are a few nuts that are pretty hard to get to, but definitely doable. Hardly any room for O2 sensors, but also it is doable, just barely doable. Now, what isn't doable though is this one here that connects to the bank 1. This is just pure shit fitment. Like this one, for instance, for bank 2, that's actually pretty good, or at least decent. But this one, this won't ever fit. Like it's not even close to fitting here, and when it is, it just hits the transmission. What's it called? This transmission cross brace. Sorry, I don't know at this stage. So I'll probably have to do some cutting and welding. Otherwise, I'll never get this to fit. Bank 2 now mounted. There's not a lot of room, but enough to make it work. Again, not the prettiest. Also a small mount here, not pretty either, but at least it's now being suspended here. Now on to the next, the hard one. Wow. With this one here, it's not even close. I can't even, that's about as far as I can get before it actually hits. Okay, so I think we're about ready now to start the car, see how it sounds. I have hooked up the decibel meter as well. So it'll be interesting to see how much noise does it actually make. Okay, so we managed to start the car, and to my big surprise, there were no check engine lights or anything, stuff I hadn't assembled correctly or anything. It went pretty smoothly. Now, we haven't actually driven the car, so a lot of things can still happen, but I'm hoping that everything still goes as planned. As far as sound goes, I think that it sounds a little bit better. It does seem to be a little bit louder as well, and it seems that it's smelling just slightly more of fuel also, but it's negligible both in sound and smell. So I'm pretty excited now to actually go and test drive the car. I'm not going to do it right away, even though the car is now warm, because it's super bad weather outside, and the car being black and having been washed recently, it kind of hurts me to take it out in such poor weather, because yeah, black cars just look super shitty super fast after having been driven in poor weather. So the final test we still need, but so far so good. Okay, so just added a little bit of fuel. Let's see if we can make her stretch her legs. There are no knocking noises or anything from the exhaust hitting the subframe or other stuff. Still no check engine light. So far, so good. Oh, it seems a bit more lively. Didn't mash the throttle, but the little bit I did push it, it seemed more lively, that's for sure. In terms of sound, I don't actually hear that much of a difference. Maybe a bit louder, but not much. It's at least when you consider that I've removed the middle silencer and added some freer flowing cats, it's honestly surprising that it doesn't make more noise than this. Oh, it feels faster. ESC, everything turned off. Yeah, okay, that's, it usually doesn't do do that. Seems faster, that's for sure. Oh. Just struggling with traction right now. Probably will need the better tires. Nope, just not gonna happen. Okay, so now the new tires are on. Let's go and see if they have any traction. Nope, not much traction there. Okay, if I feather it a little, maybe I'll be able to set a good time. No. Traction just isn't there on neither setup. I'll try and feather the throttle a little. No. Okay, I've been toying around with the launches, and honestly I just can't get grip anymore. It'll more or less spin the entire rev range through second gear before catching traction at the very end, where you have to shift into third. But yeah, it is what it is. So what's the verdict here? Well, it's a pain in the ass to install the system. The fit just isn't near good enough. The power is definitely there, but at this stage you really need, or at least I really need, a limited slip differential to actually be able to use it. But it is more powerful, that's for sure, and the sound is also pretty good. Is it worth the money? Well, being that it's so cheap, I actually do think it is worth the money if it's actually legal to use this system in your country. Would I advise you to actually buy this system here? Well, maybe if your cats are already failing and you're looking for some power and you can do some fabrication, then sure, yes, go ahead, buy it, install it, and you will get more power and a little bit more sound of it as well. If you found this video anyway helpful or interesting, please consider giving a like or subscribing. And thank you for watching. Have a nice day.